Rustich coming up to the plate. 4 home runs on the season, 20 RBIs. And he'll get us started here in East Lansing for the 3rd game of this series. Michigan State taking 2 yesterday, and here's the first pitch from Nick Powers. Be a take and strike down the middle. And another take and strike. Rustich got the take sign, it seems. 2 take and strikes down the middle to start us off here. It's the first ball will take us to 1-2.
Good waste pitch right there, just trying to put it up in the zone, see if he would chase it. Not biting there in that situation.
And a swing and a miss. Nick Powers starts off this one with a strikeout. And sending the leadoff hitter, Steven Rustich, back to the bench.
Yeah, Rustich, you can really see how much he's choked up on that bat, trying to just shorten up that swing, and Powers goes right at him.
So just like we were talking about, as Livermore steps up to the plate. Strike on the outside corner. Just as we were talking about, Powers has to get out early, and he has so far with a strikeout on only 4 pitches. Tony Livermore, 246 average. It's that one just outside.
And it's about those first pitch strikes as well, and Powers has gotten those first 2 batters for Michigan State. If you're able to get those first pitch strikes, it really sets the tempo of an at-bat.
So this one popped up just out of play here. Thankfully not hitting anybody, as we've got a pretty full crowd here in McLean.
Yeah, I mean, obviously finals week, so everybody's studying as well, but good crowd, and we're watching a good Michigan State baseball team. This is a team that has struggled in the past, but this year really found their rhythm under Jake Boss.
Yeah, the best start since 2016 in Big Ten play. As Livermore will chase outside, and Powers has retired too now.
He's pounding the outside of the zone right there. Beautiful work and trying to shorten up once again. But Powers going right at these guys. He looks confident to start off this game.
It's Bennett Markinson, the designated hitter, will step up to the plate and take a first pitch strike.
Three batters he's faced and 3 first pitch strikes.
So that one lined down third. Diving grab, but dropped is Kark. And that one will be the first hit of the day, ruining what was a pretty quick and efficient inning for the Spartans.
I mean, it's a good effort, though. It's not going to be an error because he's diving and making that attempt, obviously frustrated with himself. Had that opportunity to make that phenomenal play, but just couldn't get the handle on the transfer. Was trying to rush it a little bit too much right there. But his job to stop it, that would have been extra bases.
Right as the first pitch is low for Alex Kalarko, the sophomore first baseman. Hey, you're right, not an error. A great diving play to stop it from squirting into the outfield and possibly picking up some extra bases. So that one is low.
But it's also those kinds of plays as a starting pitcher that can kind of be deflating as well. We'll see if Northwestern can take advantage of it.
So that one's inside, 3-0 the count.
They're going to call it an error, but I disagree with that. I think it's a play that requires an extraordinary amount of effort.
I agree. Inside strike taken, 3-1. Powers battling back here after retiring the first 2 batters.
Because if he doesn't field that cleanly where he's diving, they're going to call that a hit, but they're going to call it the error on the transfer.
Right, as a swing and a miss. Alex Kalarko gets us to a full count. Nick Powers battling back in this at-bat, but I agree with you completely. You know, you got to put all your effort into stopping, blocking that ball, and if it goes,
he did that. It's
onto
obviously
the grass.
Even if he fields that cleanly, there's a chance he's going to be safe at first.
As Kalarko will ground it right back to Powers, who flips it to Vredenberg and puts us into the bottom of the first. Michigan State going unscathed in the runs column. Not in the errors column, but still no hits. 0-0 is your score, and we'll be right back after this. So Trent Farquhar coming up and taking the first pitch outside for a strike. Outside strike. A little pause there. So that one will be taken ball. 1-1 is the count. Trent Farquhar with the .366 batting average. 1-2 the count now.
Farquhar is such a good leadoff hitter. He can give quality at bats, and he's very aggressive when he gets those pitches.
So that one swing and a miss for him. Rustich out in center. Tanner over in right and Fair in left. Fair and Ford, two Wildcats with a home run yesterday, as this one will be shot into right field and gets down on the hill out in right, circling the bases and stopping at second. Exactly so. Brock Vredenberg been a monster offensively, reaching base on over half, as this one will be popped up and out of play. But reaching base on over half of his at-bats, that's just not something that you see in any league, in any level.
No, it's actually really incredible. And like I said earlier this week, most batters go through a little bit of a cold stretch at some point in the season. He has not hit that. He has consistently been hot all season. It's incredible.
Absolutely, as Vredenberg will take a strike, make the count 0-2.
And he's 6'7", 220 plus. Dude's got a ton of muscle on him. He could be a tight end, honestly.
Spartans might need him out there on the field.
Oh, they got enough tight ends.
That's true. Brock Vredenberg awaiting the 0-2 pitch outside. Not going to chase on that one. He's very disciplined at the plate also, which leads to that, he gets some bases on balls as well, leading to that on-base percentage. And
he hits a lot of fly balls as well. That's something that's, he's aggressive, but he has that line drive swing that can get the ball in the air.
Absolutely, the .531 on-base percentage that we're talking about, as Vredenberg will rip one to the third baseman, who fires to first and gets him out just in time. Mitch Jebb advancing to third, though, on that play. Brian Brecker now up to bat, the sophomore righty.
And here's that situation, why they moved him into the 4-hole, because of getting one of those guys on earlier in the lineup for Michigan State. Usually it's either Farquhar or Jebb, and Vredenberg's able to advance him in this situation. So now you got a guy 90 feet away, base hit's going to score him.
Yeah, Spartans have some power, some good hitting as he takes a ball there up in the top of the lineup. Luke Beneke dealing for Northwestern with a man in scoring position, staring him down there. As inside, the ball will be taken. 3-1.
Two close pitches right there. Good eye from the Michigan State catcher. He's trying to hammer inside, see if he tries to change locations now. 3-1, he's got to throw a strike.
And throw a strike he does there. Full count now for Brecker. We're getting a sense of the umpire strike zone here, pushing a little outside on the strikes. We've seen some strikes called outside, is where these pitchers have been getting into their rhythm. As that one will be fouled out to the right and off almost into the red cedar.
Good battle right here from Brian Brecker. Just going to try to stay alive. 3-2. Shorten up your swing a little bit. All you need is a base hit, like I said. Put the ball in play. Good things are going to happen.
It's the full count pitch. Will be lined to third base, and Minorovic over to first for the easy out. Mitch Jebb will be stranded at third as Nick Powers delivers the first pitch ball to Fair. Kevin Fair, that is.
Well, like they say in East Lansing, when it rains, it pours, you know, and it did rain a little bit earlier, but now it's cleared up at the moment, so hopefully we can keep that away and get this game through.
Kevin Fair fouls one out of play back to the right. You know, it was raining and pouring on Friday, which pushed that doubleheader yesterday, and they got done just in time for the rain to start. There's a strike taken there, 2-2 the count. As a drive, and Farquhar can't make the dive. A single standing up and easily getting there is Kevin Fair.
Shiv bites him a little bit in that situation where Farquhar's a little bit more to his left than he would have been in a normal second base position. Tries to dive to make up for it and just gets it past. Good job to get the leadoff hitter on for Northwestern. This is where you can really try to crack open this game.
And Kevin Fair had the home run yesterday in their first game. And he will get to first here as Luke Tanner is up to bat. Luke Tanner, 295 on the season with a home run and 13 RBIs. Swing and a miss, though. Gets the count to 0-2. The righty batter. Swing and a miss. So 3 straight strikes. Last one swung on and missed just under that one. And he doesn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good job from Powers getting that strikeout right there, and you got that runner still on first. But in this situation, you want to at least move the runner over here because you can get him into scoring position with 2 outs.
Cooper Ford up to the plate now. Will chop one to third. Picked up, turned, and not quite completing the double play there.
Really nice job right there by Michigan State.
As Owen McElfatrick.
He's got a cool name.
You like Owen?
I do.
Owen Ozis joining me here. I'm Ethan Hunter, and we are having a great time for this third game of the series here in finals week at Michigan State. As a high and outside ball taken. You know, we saw a couple attempts to turn 2 in the games yesterday and really was not that successful. A lot of times what happened just then happened yesterday, where first base able to get on as a steal attempt. The tag applied and he knew it immediately. Cooper Ford was running back to the dugout before the ump even called anything.
I mean, like I just said, he doesn't have as much speed. He's just trying to catch Michigan State off guard right there, trying to time it up with the pitch clock, and it just did not work out. It's a good Michigan State lineup, and this is where you can really change the tempo of your season and prove that you deserve to be in this role.
As Sam Bush is up to bat, 289 average on the season, 36 RBIs. As that will be fouled out of play, out of the stands and over near the concessions. 1-1 the count. And like you said, Beneke, you start every game with a 0 ERA for the game, so just got to battle. It's a swing and a miss from Bush. And another swing and a miss. And first batter retired.
The bottom of the order kind of struggled yesterday, and Northwestern was able to kind of figure out what to do with them.
His first ball taken from Jack Frank. 6 home runs, batting .329 from Strongsville, Ohio. It's a strike taken there. Owen McIlpatrick that you saw there will be due up to bat after this one, as that is fouled way out of play.
I like the approach right now. Like I said, Beneke's going right at these hitters and being aggressive. Powers is doing the same thing as well. It's early, but you got what looks like a pitcher's duel going on right now.
Right, as Jack Frank will foul another one off to the left. Jack Frank went 1 for 4 in game 1 and 1 for 4 in game 2 with an RBI in the second. As that will be chopped to the first baseman, picks it up and applies the tag is Alex Calarco. Good clean fielding so far from both teams, despite that drop over at third and first inning for Michigan State. But like we said, no harm, no foul, as Dillion Kark now up 281 on the season. It's a big swing. We'll take him foul off to the right, just about 40 feet from being a home run out there, but not quite. Got a little excited there. Balls were flying off the bats yesterday. Hoping to see that from both teams today. Get some excitement. As that will be inside and hit. So Dillion Kark hit by the pitch and does a little bat flip there as he trots to first.
They're also very aggressive with hit and runs as well. That's why he's picking over right now, because you got that third baseman in case of the situation also that they try to bunt, and Michigan State gets very creative with those kinds of things.
Right, Casey Mays up to bat now as he swings and misses. High chase percentage is what he's been battling with this season, but the triple yesterday, like we talked about, struggled hitting just a little bit, but had a RBI sac fly in the first game to bring home one of the early runs, as another swing and a miss.
And to keep it away from him hitting a triple, you got to keep it more in the outer portion of the plate, because he's not going to be able to drive it to that right center field gap.
The senior from Wichita, Kansas, facing an 0-2 count. And Kark kind of testing Beneke and Ford over there on first. Thinking about stealing?
Yeah, it makes, even though he hasn't gone yet, like you said, it's in the back of the pitcher's head right now, and also the catcher.
Right, and after hitting somebody, it's that check swing. After hitting a player, gets your mind in a little bit of a state you don't want it to be in. After not really making a mistake up to that point, as an inside ball taken.
Really nice job right now behind home plate by Ford, and he's doing a nice job just locking down these pitches. Been in the dirt and tough, but he's keeping it in front, and Kark's still staying on first base, so credit to him.
This is Casey Mays hitting in the 8th slot. Knocks one out to third down the line, and that will be too far for Fair to get to. Kark will be circling third and going home, and we have a 1-0 ball game here at McLean Stadium.
Really nice job. I talked about keeping those pitches away, and Mays went with it. Hit it right over the left fielder's head, and Farrer, and really nice job getting that power where he kept his arms in, but was able to understand that he has to extend the barrel and just stroke it right over the left fielder's head.
Had that triple, but struggled a little bit yesterday. Knocks one out to the third base line and brings up Greg Ziegler here. 268 on the season, 3 home runs. He's got that pop in the bat if he turns it on.
But all he needs is a single right now because of how much speed Mays has on second base.
Absolutely chopped to third, and the play is made. Stretching is Karko, but making the play. So the Spartans get up 1 early with a double by Casey Mays. Back in the top of the second to end the inning. So Mikkel was down in that count, has a chance to bounce back here. 0-1. He starts out. Has a ball taken low.
Yeah, it's about, we talked about being aggressive early in these counts, and Powers has done a really nice job so far. Now you got the bottom of the order too, so just keep on rolling if you're Nick Powers.
Foul tip-off back and right as the first-year player from Tampa, Florida, from Berkeley Preparatory. Owen McElfatrick getting a second shot at his first at-bat as he'll pop one into right field. And Jack Frank is under that. No problem there. No glare from the sun today, so shouldn't see too many issues with that. Right under the ball he gets, and
with gray clouds because of the color of the baseball. Obviously, with the sun, you can just wear sunglasses, but with the gray clouds, there's nothing that you can really address that with.
Good point made there as Evan Minarovic up to bat. Right, as long as the sun isn't, that blue gives you a little contrast. Some blue's poking through today, but not where either the fielding teams need it to be. As 3-0, the count, Minarovic gets up into a hitter's count early. So that will be a 4-pitch walk. Not what you want to do. Nick Powers getting a walk here. And
yeah, that was kind of interesting. Number 9 guy gets 4 straight balls, especially how Powers has shown the control that he's been showing. It's kind of an interesting situation, but now here you're going to try to get the leadoff guy to roll over.
Right back up to Steven Rustich here as he will bunt, laying down a bunt nicely down the third base line, and he'll be safe. So Steven Rustich showing off the speed and successfully putting a bunt right between third, catcher, and pitcher. Nobody able to get to that one and throw it over, and he'll be safe.
Textbook bunting right there. Gets the ball perfectly down that third base line where it's far enough from the pitcher where you can't go field it. Obviously, the catcher and Brian Brecker can't come out either. And Kark's the only one that has to charge in from third base and try to make that play. Only way he was going to make that play if he could barehand it, and that was a hit a little bit too hard for him to handle that.
All right, so another bunt try here from Livermore. Goes foul. 2 men on, 1 out, and the count would be 0-1 here in the top of the third. Tony Livermore struck out in the first, as we saw Nick Powers having that elite control and striking out those first 2 batters. And some Northwestern players have gotten on base since then, but still showing control with a runner in scoring position here, getting us out to an 0-2 count.
Yeah, Livermore not showing the bunt right there. Obviously, now with 2 strikes, would be very surprised if he decided to do it in this situation. Very risky, and Kark is back.
Everybody's ready in this one as it'll be lined out to center field, and the catch is made from Greg Ziegler. Advancing Evan Minarovic to third. Right, there's a good pop off that bat, just didn't fly like you were saying. Normally, what is a strike? Right down the middle and into the strike zone to Markinson, here the designated hitter.
Markinson's going to be looking to try to get that ball on the right side of the field because there's a ton of opening over there.
And he doesn't listen to you here. Gets it over to the left. The shortstop, Mitch Jebb, able to flip it over to Trent Farquhar.
That hitting is...
Trent Farquhar getting a fast first pitch hit over to Kalarko, who fields that easily and decides to flip it to Beneke, but I don't even think he necessarily had to do that.
See these guys at the top of the order and throughout the entire order that can steal bases and also hustle down the line when they put the ball in play, forcing guys on defense to have to rush their throws and feel a lot more stressed when it comes to actually fielding the baseball.
As Mitch Jebb up to bat, the sole hitter in the top of the order that had a hit with the double.
Yeah, he got a hanging breaking ball that he was able to take to right center field. I doubt he would get that same pitch again.
No, it was a fastball. Mitch Jebb able to turn around on and get to first easily, singling there between Livermore and Kalarko. Able to turn around on that bat so quickly. Gets the fastball was coming in hot, and he's able to get the grounder swing hard enough to expose that shift. Speaking of exposing the shift, we've got a massive shift here over in the Northwestern infield.
And Vredenberg loves to pull the ball. We just talked about that. And obviously, Michigan State loves the shift, but Northwestern does as well. You also got the situation where Jebb's got a ton of speed on first base. Got to be cautious of that. 12 stolen bases.
As that one's popped up and out of play right over our heads here. But yeah, 3 infielders over on the right side of second. An illegal shift in the MLB.
That's
with these
true.
new rules.
Yeah, it's true, but obviously in college you can still have that, so they're going to keep on using it.
So that one close, they were taken inside.
Wind's starting to blow out to right center field as well, and for Vredenberg, obviously a left-handed hitter, you get a pitch in, he's going to drive it right over that right field wall.
That left-handed swing so smooth that he's able to get power. 12 home runs on the season. But this one he catches off the top of the bat, popped up into left field, and no communication there over on the left. It looked like Ford really wanted that one, and he got it, knocking off the glove of Evan Minarovic, who was also under that one. But as Ryan Brecker up to bat now, check over at first, make sure Mitch Jebb is staying true. Yeah,
it looked like Jebb was kind of leading in that situation. That's why they decided to pick over. Like I said, you go a hit and run with 2 outs, could be dangerous.
Taken strike right down the middle. It is Brian Brecker who is second on the team in home runs behind Brock Vredenberg, who we've been talking about all day, our Spartan to watch, and not able to get meaningful contact on that one. That ball just flies off his bat though, no matter what. Even if it's off the top of the bat, you know, it's going way up in the air to come down.
And it's really impressive as a catcher. You really don't see many guys anywhere in baseball that are really good hitting catchers, so to be able to add that on to repertoire, very valuable in the future.
As chopped to the third base line, and that just took a weird hop, and Mitch Jebb getting to third. And look at Brian Brecker putting on the wheels and getting into second. That was just into the third base, over the third baseman and through the glove, and still able to get some extra bases off that. Struck out in the second, but with runners on, you got to think you're swinging with 2 outs here. So he takes the first strike up high, but yeah, just such smart heads-up base running, because Minarovic's had a couple chopped to him and he's turned on all of them. So you see that little margin of error, and this is where the Spartans can tack on some extra runs.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll keep on saying it. Put the ball in play, good things are going to happen. You force teams to make plays. If you keep on striking out, it's not going to be, obviously nothing's going to come from it. But you put that ball in the play in that situation, it looks like it's going to be a third out, but crazier things have happened.
Sam Bush up to 2-1 in the count now. Runners in scoring position here. And Sam Bush also not shy with 6 home runs on the year. Not shy to hit it with some pop. It's a good crowd, like we said, for a day that's turned a little bit chilly. Sun keeps coming out and clouds are moving fast there out in the outfield.
Bush had the 3-run shot against Notre Dame on a pitch that was up and in and was able to drive it. Don't want to give him that pitch here.
That was inside, but taken. A close, painted inside line strike there.
Yeah, and obviously we just talked about first season. That's very hard to turn around your program in one season unless your name's Deion Sanders and get everybody in the portal. But for him, it's about a process of getting those guys we keep on talking about, just getting the guys that fit your repertoire and what you want your program to be built around.
As Kalarko will fire one out to center field, and able to get under it is Greg Ziegler. So quick at bat there, 2 pitches, and able to get the first out. Pop off the bat, but not far enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good swing right there. Ball's a little bit too down, and nice job by Powers to locate it. I like the swing, though. Kind of gives me an Evan Longoria kind of vibe on that swing.
Yeah, like that comp. Down and low and able to pop it up from anywhere in the strike zone. It's Alex Kalarko, but now up to bat Kevin Fair, who had that single in the second. 3 home runs on the season. Swing and a miss and a swing and a miss. Put him at 0-2.
Yeah, keeping that ball down right there, and like I said, it's going to be tough to try to drive that for power.
As another pop into center field, Greg Ziegler has this one as well, squatting down, doesn't even need to move. Right to him, so the magnetic Greg Ziegler just pulling all the balls his way. Doesn't even have to move.
It's like basically deja vu right there, just a little bit more down, and it's
okay, maybe one step.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a center fielder, you can't ask for much more than that. Right there. Shout out to also, I guess, the coaches and managers making that call to have him there in that situation, and shift was perfect.
As this will bring up Tanner here for Northwestern.
Got dirt in his eye.
Got to take a step back and think about things for a second. Is Luke Tanner, the senior right fielder. Or right-handed batter, excuse me. There's a swing and a miss. Nasty pitch there.
Yeah, I mean, I go back to it. I mean, that was just not a good swing right there.
No, just keep doing what's working. It's fouled off to the right side.
So he just went out last 2 pitches. Let's see if he can try to go back in and change that eye level.
Yeah, both pitchers have been liking that outside corner so far, and the umpire back behind home plate, Corey Hinga, is liking it as well.
It's perfect.
There it is. Just as we were saying, strikeout here. It's that.
Hey, he's number 21. He's got a good walk-up song.
21, can you do something for me? How about a leadoff inning hit as he takes a strike?
My favorite walk-up song that I ever encountered was Indiana Langford, who's the softball player for Michigan. She had the Indiana Jones theme song, so I kind of thought that was pretty cool.
Always nice to play off the number, off the name.
Yeah.
What would your walk-up
I think it's
song
creative.
be going?
My walk-up song right above it was my walk-up song, Lil Wayne. It's just kind of fun, upbeat. You got to make it creative, you know? You don't just kind of toss it in there.
Right.
Got to think about it, make it cool, creative, funny.
go through a couple of revisions maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like Matt Tuiasosopo, former Detroit Tigers player, his walk-up song was the Lion King theme song. So it's more funny. You know, you gotta target what you want. Do you want like
fear
yes.
ingrained in the pitcher's eyes as a
Right.
swing and a miss from Jack Frank will get the first out of the inning.
I'm gonna have a good time, sort of thing.
Dillion Kark up to bat now, takes an inside ball. Yeah, and you know, you can always throw him off too with something a little funny, and then, you know, rocket one out. And this is a Michigan State team as well, with depth all the way down the batting lineup. As that will be popped up into right field, going back, and not able to make the play is Tanner. As Jack Frank stand-up triple, rounding second into third, just easy.
It's a lot tougher because it's sitting up there and you're on the ground.
Right, is fouled out and away as Casey Mays, who had that double back earlier in the second inning, and 1 RBI.
Mays took that ball opposite field on the pitch that was out. In this situation, anywhere up the middle or in the air is going to be helpful.
Off the tip of the bat there and fouled out to the left, not near us, as you just saw. Hello and thank you for watching. I'm Ethan Hunter alongside Owen Ozist here for this beautiful Saturday afternoon game. Glad you got to look into our lives up here. Ball's always coming, but never able to grab one, as a pickle has developed and the tag made. Sliding into second, though, is Casey Mays. So Dillion Kark just runs for it, running on anything here with 1 out. He gets into a pickle off that chopper to first, and
good job by Mays to get to second, but you just got the lead runner out, so nice work from Northwestern.
right, as Greg Ziegler, the number 9 spot hitter, junior, is now up to bat. But yeah, you freeze there. You got to at least turn and start running back for third. Didn't even allow the throw to be made, and he gets tagged out by the catcher back there.
Infield was also infield was also in that situation too. Infield was back, you're going to score 100 times in that situation, but the infield in, you're not going to score there.
Right, it's driven down the right field line and out into the bullpen.
If you're Michigan State.
Right, and a ground out. The first time from Greg Ziegler.
Pitch that jammed him in, and Ziegler not giving a good swing on it.
That ground out was to third. But a grounder to third might do something. Evan Minarovic had some trouble as this one's fouled out of play.
That also wasn't his fault either. It wasn't an error. But, you know, like I said, you put the ball in play. You got to swing. We saw Sam Bush last inning struck out looking. You don't want to do that. That's worst case scenario. Put the ball in play, and things can happen.
And we are. This ball taken here to get us to a full count. We are just nearing an hour here into this game, and 2 outs into the bottom of the fourth. A quick game, so pitching battle going on here. Not too many hits.
And you just said it, but now you're going to turn the game around where there are going to be a lot of hits.
Right as Ziegler grounds out to third once again. Minarovic gets a formidable bounce, not anything crazy, and able to pick it up and turn it back to 1. So Michigan State up 1-0, not able to tack any extra runs on despite 2 runners in scoring position through that one. We'll be right back in the top of the 5th after this. And on Cooper Ford, but yesterday was Alumni Day. We had some Spartan baseball alumni, as that's fouled out of play, come in and say hi to the fans, get some recognition and a little banquet afterwards. Looked like a fun time was had by all, but today we've got some t-shirts passing out and plenty of families here, those Sunday games, as this one popped up and right back to us. Bang, it goes off the roof.
Are you ready if it comes back
here?
Oh,
I am absolutely ready, Owen. That is that's an announcer's dream right there when you have the fast reflexes. You know, we're both standing up here.
You would drop it, though. I think you would drop it.
Where does that come from? It's an outside pitch there. Why do you think that? I'm right here. Look at that. That jacket is not hindering me at all. We can take that.
Take off the jacket. Be ready. Ready position.
As a swing and a miss, Cooper Ford gets that lead-off strikeout, and Nick Powers absolutely dealing here his 5th strikeout of the game.
Yeah, really nice breaking ball right there. Got him out on his front foot, and Powers has looked really good so far, only giving up 2 hits, and man, he's really dealing. He's found out his rhythm, and he looks like the way he was last Sunday when he faced Michigan.
And Owen Mickle-Fatrick, my partner Owen Ozist's name
my
friend
player.
here, is up to bat. And I have a feeling if a ball comes up here, you and I would be fighting for it, though. A real 50-50 ball as this one is driven out to center field. Greg Ziegler is under it and makes the play. So in last couple innings, a few easy fly balls. Oh, and Evan Minarovic swinging for the fences there and just missing outside.
That is an understatement to say, swinging for the fences right there.
Yeah, he was swinging for the Red Cedar. He was swinging for IM Circle, swinging for the Graduate Hotel all the way out there. You can see on the horizon. It's 2 taken strikes here, so he goes up 4-pitch walk in the first time up, and 0 for 2 now. 1 down in the dirt will bring us to 1 and 2.
Good waste pitch right there, trying to get him to chase down, but man, he's working quick.
He is working quick. Some of Michigan State's fastest games here at home have been thrown by Nick Powers.
And that's where the difference with the pitch clock is, that you can now work quick. Batters would call time to try to mess up with your momentum.
Minarovic foul out of play.
Because that clock starts, and the batter has to be ready with at least 8 seconds left, making eye contact with the pitcher.
2-2 the count. Just outside there gets us to a full count. So Evan Minarovic has battled back here to get back into this one full. And Nick Powers, foul tip.
Yeah, it went off of Brecker's hand right there. Never a good feeling to get a foul ball, and you're a catcher.
No, but you catch that one, and that's an out, so always got to try for it.
Well, yeah, it's a lot easier said than done, to say the least.
Could never be a catcher. I was left-handed.
You could do it, though, right?
Well, like I just said, there's no left-handed catcher's gloves. As this one is popped into right, and fair is the call. Evan Minarovic there was just, everybody stood still here in East Lansing for just a moment as the official down on the first base line was trying to decide what to do, but a bomb out over the right field foul pole. That'll be a home run.
Yeah, well, Boss is going to go challenge us, I feel like, at least. There's such a long wait to see from the first base umpire, and you could just see the explosion when he made the signal that it was a fair ball.
Yeah, Jack Frank, as you could see there, pointing with his glove out off to the right, saying that was a foul ball.
It looked foul to me, but obviously I don't have the same.
Lead, they have not had a tie here yet this series. As the 4th pitch, it's hard to throw a strike after all that waiting, and Nick Powers was warming up throughout, but that will get Evan Minarovic over to first after all that debate. And you would rather be sitting back in the dugout, not struck out, but having a run tacked on the board, but
right.
He will be over there at first. As swung on and missed, back up to the top of the order, Stephen Rustich singled in the 3rd with 4 home runs this season. Evan Minarovic, that would have been his first home run of the year, so definitely wanted that one. He's got the pop off the bat as we saw, but just a game of inches. They don't usually call baseball the game of inches.
Oh,
I would. For a couple other sports, but
I mean, the game of inches you could say for any sport, honestly. But
that's true.
I mean, I feel like it is very relevant in baseball.
I feel like most notably football. called that more often than not. But, I mean, yeah, right, like you said, such a small margin for error, especially in the Big Ten, where we have all these teams at the top of the Big Ten standings, and only the champion gets an automatic bid. Did he swing? Yes, he did. So
and now see when the home plate umpire comes in and said he went instead of appealing down the first base umpire, kind of shows that he's getting a little bit fed up with what Northwestern is. You can see he's in the heat of the moment.
Rustich got to pop this one up off the right field line. Vredenberg going for it, but that will be out of play. So yeah, just a up and down top of the fifth here as we are nearing the midway point in this ball game. It's been I guess we've reached it. So we'll see as this one winds down with a man on first. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. Steven Rustich will take one outside. So that outside corner, something that we've seen called a strike a few times. That's where these have gone to, but the count is full. Nick Powers with the whole world on his mind right now after all that waiting. Swing and a miss. So an electric inside pitch from Nick Powers gets Steven Rustich to swing, and that will end this one. So Northwestern tied it up and then taken away. Always a academics first institution.
You deserve a star for that.
Thank you.
I've never even heard that word before, to be honest.
Tumultuous. Got some.
Can you give me the definition?
Well, as Trent Farquhar is up here and taking a shot right in between third and short, will get him to first. Wow.
He's got a single and a double. Hits a triple, is a home run away from the cycle, or it's a home run, triple away from the cycle. So he's been off to a good start.
Right, as that will bring up Mitch Jebb, who's 2 for 2 on the day, batting .327. Tumultuous, dangerous, a little bit controversial. The official definition is excited, confused, or disorderly. So about that that kind of vibe, if you will. Journalism majors, Owen and I both here in the booth.
I've never used it before, but.
Well, Mitch Jebb taking a swing and back over the broadcast booth. Don't need to use tumultuous in the day-to-day life, but
you honestly probably have just broken the record for the amount of times tumultuous has been said in a broadcast.
I love saying it. It's a good time.
It is
2 to 1. The count. 0 outs with Mitch Jebb. Chopping one and lining it out left, but foul it is, and bouncing into the dugout. Still no one warming up. Nick Powers having an absolute command on this game.
Good swing right there. He was really connecting the outer heart of the plate. Now I'm going to change that location after seeing that last swing.
Mitch Jebb swing and a miss. So he choked up a little bit there, tried to get some contact, and it didn't work out for him. Brock Vredenberg, absolute hitting monster, 0 for 2 today, but that on-base percentage over 500, 531 coming into this one is just unheard of.
It seems like every time he's 0 for whatever, very next at bat he gets a hit. So I'm going to predict he gets a hit right here.
Oh, I just predicted that Trent Farquhar single, so if you can get that one, a swing and a miss out to the left, chased.
I'm gonna be a little bit tumultuous and say he's gonna get a hit. But that's how good of a hitter he's been. Like, I mean, you look at the batting average right there, and it's incredible.
No, and Owen, you said this before we went on here as the pickoff attempted, but Farquhar able to make it back, that going 2 for 4 for Brock Vredenberg would lower his on-base percentage.
Yeah.
So that's just a crazy stat, because obviously 2 for 4, a good day by most measurable standards, but down to 526, this one.
Down is a harsh word.
Right.
Like down.
Down 0.005, but still up from, I mean, anything that we've seen in recent memory. This best Spartans team that we've seen since 2016, as Brock Vredenberg able to bloop one down the first base line. Gets a double here. Trent Farquhar advances to third, and just over the head of Kalarko gets us beautifully into where no one can get to it. Brock Vredenberg reaching second.
I called it. I mean, it's too easy to call it. It's not even like I called it. It's just, it happens every single time. Pitch that was in, was able to get his hands a little bit more in, was in the inner portion of the bat as well. You can see from the contact. And now you got 2 runners in scoring position, only 1 out. This is a prime position for Michigan State to score some runs.
And even more prime position is Brian Brecker, the catcher, red shirt sophomore, up to the plate now. Another monster season from him. 454 on base percentage, so also up there, not quite to where Brock Vredenberg is, but still very high with the 331 average coming in today, as he will pop one out in between right and left, and it will fall. No one can get to it, and it's stuck there under the wall. A stand-up triple for Brian Brecker brings in Brock Vredenberg and Trent Farquhar.
Well, you just had a single, then you just had a double, and then you just had a triple. So Michigan State is rolling at the moment. Got a pitch that was out, was able to keep on going with it, and with the air going out and tunneling to right center field, was able to carry that ball to the deepest part of the ballpark. And once again, that hill showing trouble for Northwestern and those ball players out there, because it was a struggle for him to get it from underneath the wall and try to get it back in. And by that time, Brecker's sliding into third base.
That, though, the swings are so pure on this team. You love to see this. This is what baseball is exciting to watch.
But it's also timely hitting as well, because you get those swings at times where it doesn't really matter. But for Michigan State, you got 2 runners in scoring position. I just talked about it, giving them that situation, and then you have a triple to right center field. Now you're 90 feet away from scoring that 4th run.
All right, so I think Brian Brecker may have hit a water pipe or something up in the sky as it's starting to rain just a little bit. But hopefully nothing that's going to stop this one. The umbrellas have come out here in McLean, and the kids are running for cover under the stands. But a single, a double, and a triple here in this bottom of the 5th inning, bringing up Sam Bush.
All I'm saying is he has power. Bush has power.
Sam Bush does have power. 6 home runs on the season, 35 RBIs. See if he can add one here with only 1 out. And Brian Brecker on third. Anything out into the outfield should score Brecker here.
I'm not sure what the exact definition of what it would be called, but I'm going to call it a team cycle if he's able to hit a home run right here.
Oh, a team cycle. I love that.
Ooh.
And he wanted that one, too.
Yeah,
he heard us up here. Sorry down there, Sam, but that will be a strikeout. His 3rd of the day. Got swung on one in the 2nd, looked in the 3rd, and Ben Grable is the one that ultimately gets the call. 6'4", 205, big frame on the mound, and he will start in the hole with somebody on third. That's somebody, of course, Brian Brecker.
Does have a situation where, with Frank being a left-handed hitter, he's got the righty-on-lefty matchup, so a little bit of a misadvantage right here.
As low and away. It is for Jack Frank, 0 for 2 with a ground out in the 2nd and a strikeout in the 4th. Brian Brecker, not known for it, but has some speed. So a wild pitch, I don't know, I'd be looking out for him. Depends just how wild it is.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's wild pitch, he's going to score. I would be surprised if he didn't. or else it's going to get yelled at for it.
Oh, not quite.
4 straight balls from a new guy. I'm taking until I get a strike.
So Kark hit by pitch in the second and a triple in the fourth. Ball taken just barely outside there. Grable still trying to figure out his strike zone for the day. Goes low. So Ben Grable, a reliever, pitched 2 innings 5 times, and that's the most that he's done in one outing. So we'll look for him to have a short stint, but it looks like a party. I kind of want to go join them over there in the Northwestern bullpen as opposed to the Michigan State bullpen, which I think the party starts a little bit later. It is only 2:30, so maybe later tonight.
Well, it's not a good party either, is the thing. You don't want to be invited to that one.
No, you don't. Lots of stretching, lots of arm mechanics. I'm good, honestly. I just have to handle a pencil and a computer every day. I'm not throwing anything too heavy. That's a strike taken. There's that strike zone.
You're not lifting weights?
Oh, I lift weights.
Okay.
I lift weights.
All right.
But, you know, I know you're always hitting up the fitness center after class.
You gotta.
No, you have to. Stay ready for any time if, you know, some storyline movie happens. As a line out into center field, going back onto the hill, Dillion Kark will score 2 runners for another triple. 2 triples in a row for Dillion Kark, and these Michigan State batters just firing it off. Jack Frank and Brian Brecker scoring with ease.
We were just talking about lifting weights right there. You know who else has been lifting is Dillion Kark. He's hitting it to right center field. It's another triple for Michigan State. And you know what? It's working. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
I agree completely, as this brings up Casey Mays, who no stranger to tripling. But there's this little divot out at the top of the hill under the 385 sign that has a chance for the ball to go almost under the wall as a taken ball there. And that's where the first triple of the inning went that had Luke Tanner. Yeah, so there it is there. That had Luke Tanner. Obviously it can't go under and down into the red cedar, but it gives you a second grab at it, and that's where both of these balls have gone. There wasn't really a problem that last time out, but the first triple hit this inning caused a little bit of a something out there, but they're hitting it almost exactly to the same place. You can tell there's been practice in the hitting facility.
I mean, I would just put somebody out there, honestly. Just put the right fielder in right center field.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing. Is there's the pitch on the strike on the 3-1 count, but that's looks like it's exactly what they're doing there for Luke Tanner, getting a little bit further left and deep, because Casey Mays, you know, can turn around and swing it. Strike taken there, but Casey Mays hitting 8th and still with a 261 average, not at all bad. This whole team can hit.
Yeah, and according to K-Zone, that last pitch was down, so a little bit of a gift right there for Northwestern. Ooh.
And he'll chase that one. You could tell that he wanted to turn that. And that will end the absolute party that's happening on the field. Not out in the bullpen, though. Nick Powers will be back up after this 4-run Spartan bonanza.
And now back to Owen and Ethan in the booth.
Up here on the first pitch of the top of the 6th, Wyatt Rush, like we were just talking about, stopper of the year watch list mid-season. Might not need it to be brought in yet, as Nick Powers is having an absolute day on the mound with that's his third hit, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. No extra base hits through this one. Bennett Markinson looking to change that at the plate for Northwestern, the sophomore, as he will take a cut that just stays fair. Down the third base line, Markinson will get to second, and advancing to third is Tony Livermore. So 2 pitches in this top of the 6th, 2 base hits.
Yeah, really nice job of hitting, and Kark kind of just watched it. He didn't think it was going to be a fair ball, and it just stayed fair. And now you got some momentum right here. We just talked about how a bunch of guys ran out to the bullpen for Northwestern, and now all of a sudden Michigan State's bullpen is starting to kind of walk around and get loose.
So Nick Powers going to see if he is that guy here. His first test of the night with 2 runners in scoring position. Ball outside. I like testing that outside corner, though, because you've gotten a couple called strikes outside. Here's Alex Kalarkos coming up. And you don't want to give him a breakfast ball right down the middle after these 2 pitches, 2 base hits. The double, I guess that was a little bit of an announcer jinx there. I just said no extra base hits, and then Markinson comes out and hits one.
It's Noah Matheny getting loose.
Popped into right field, and going back is Jack Frank making the catch on the wall, and that will score Tony Livermore. So Tony Livermore over on third, gets home easily. That one was backing up, and right at the top of the wall was Jack Frank, but we had talked about that wall being a problem for away teams. Michigan State's been practicing here for quite some time, though, so no problem there from Jack Frank, still scoring the first run of the game.
Yeah, but nice job. Sack fly and an RBI gets the job done, exactly what you want, and get on the scoreboard. And now you make it a grand slam lead.
So a big cut taken out there by Farrer.
If you're Northwestern, just keep chopping away at that lead for Michigan State. You got another run 90 feet away.
Another swing and a miss. Kevin Farrer really wanting this one bad. It was in the 7th inning that our known doubled and Tanner doubled for Northwestern, as this one, a shot taken out into the gap of center field and thrown in. Stopping at second will be Kevin Farrer, but Markinson comes home across the plate, and Bennett Markinson will score the 2nd run of the day for Northwestern.
Bats have come alive for both squads now, and once again, it's been deja vu having the ball out there with the guy having to field it on the hill in that situation, and now you got another runner in scoring position. You got to get Matheny loose and try to get him into this game, because it looks like they figured out Nick Powers.
But almost like we were just saying with deja vu, as Luke Tanner now making his plate appearance, and Nick Powers opts to create the pickle. An easy tag there. Not extremely heads-up base running from Kevin Farrer, but when you're caught in that situation, what more can you do? They will get an out there for the man that was on second looking to advance to third, and a fielder's choice for Luke Tanner gets him at first. But a little bit of deja vu we were just talking about. This is when Northwestern came back yesterday in the 2nd game, was in that 7th inning where they battled back from 6-0 to 6-3.
It was the heads-up play of Kark calling it out, because Powers points to Kark to say that, hey, thank you for calling that out for me to go to 3 in that situation, get the lead runner.
Right, so Northwestern battling back a little bit here in the top of the 6th. Nick Powers challenged for the first time, and 2 runners score. So Michigan State still up 5-2.
Ziegler, a guy that You like to say in the number 9 hole, second leadoff hitter, and then you got the top of the order again. And the top of the order has been lights out for Michigan State. Every guy up to Brian Brecker has gotten a hit so far.
That was a cut taken towards the handle of the bat there. Not that crack sound that you like to hear. Guess more of a ting sound off the metal bat.
Obviously, yeah, with it being metal, it's very hard to break the bat. I have done it before, though. I've broken a metal bat.
Really?
Yes.
In a game?
No, it was practice. Thing just snapped on me. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, not something you see every day.
Yeah.
Don't mention what brand it was, or else there might be some troubles.
I can't remember, to be honest, either.
So Ziegler taking one low and outside. But you said it, Owen. Michigan State lights out, hitting an exciting 5th inning to call and talk about. 4 runs where we saw a double, a triple, a single, another triple. Just
only thing we haven't seen is a home run.
No, we haven't. Greg Ziegler wanting to be the one to change that. But he will not. Strike 3 looking. So Trent Farquhar coming up to the plate now. Strike taken over on the outside.
It's so interesting to see how much this team has changed and just the feeling around this program after being able to continue to keep on hitting for power and consistency all season long. It's been impressive. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of guys from last year's team still in the squad. The lineup's very similar. It's just they've all kind of figured it out.
And Trent Farquhar taking a hack down the left field line that will fall foul and just out of Kevin Farrer's view. Struggled a little bit as Trent Farquhar battling one back here to make the count 1-2.
I mean, and they've really improved. I mean, this entire lineup besides Ziegler was here last year, but hitting-wise, for Dillion Kark, he's batting 293. He's a guy that was batting around 200 for a lot of the season. He ended up at like 230, but he struggled at points. Brecker was very consistent, but wasn't this good. Brock Vredenberg just went to a different planet for hitting-wise. And then, I mean, Mitch Jebb and Trent Farquhar were both the best hitters last year. They've continued that, and then you got consistency from the rest of the order as well. So it's just putting it all together. Everyone's figured it out.
Yeah, and just like you said, their consistency. Trent Farquhar will line out to left field. Kevin Farrer is right there to make the catch. But consistency is right. No, we haven't seen too many hitting slumps this season from anybody. And like you said, a different planet these hitters have been hitting on.
And also for the guy starting today, Nick Powers. I mean, at times he really struggled last year, but now he's back below, his ERA is back below 4, and it's about that consistency as well. Just all the way around every facet of their game. These guys have now been here for a moment. A lot of these guys now juniors and seniors. They've had that experience, and that experience has really paid off.
Very experienced lineup. So Mitch Jebb will take a ball outside.
And like we always talk about Vredenberg and Brecker, and last year we talked a lot about Farquhar, but he's batting 364. Like that's really good too. Like there's plenty of guys, their performances have just been overshadowed because Vredenberg's batting 441, which is the best in the Big Ten.
Absolutely, and I'd argue that Trent Farquhar was really one of Michigan State's leading players last year.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, we don't talk about him as much, but he's still having an incredible year, you know, improving even on last season. But it's just a different team here in Michigan State that's tied for second. Has a swing and a miss from Mitch Jebb.
And it was really Jebb.
Fouled off.
It was really Jebb who had that opportunity to be looked at, and he was talked about in the preseason by MLB teams about him being a top 50 draft prospect in this upcoming draft. Now you got to look at Brock Vredenberg and say, hey, this guy's 6'7", 230 plus, and he's batting 441s. We should take a look at him and go scout him for an opportunity to bring him into our minor league system, and because he's definitely got the ability, as well as Trent Farquhar, Brian Brecker, hitting catcher. Like, there's guys in this lineup that I could see one day making it into a minor league system.
Absolutely. Mitch Jebb, like you said, the number 44 MLB pipeline draft prospect. Mid-season, he came in at number 16 on D1 baseball for shortstops, as he will get to first with a cut through the infield, slicing the shift there, and absolutely getting his first 2 home runs in McLean Stadium on the season yesterday in the second game. And just like you were saying, what do they say? Moneyball, classic baseball movie. He gets on base, and that's what these guys have been doing. The most important thing, really. Big fan of Moneyball.
It's my favorite sports movie right there.
Had a little bit of a Moneyball run recently in our intramural softball season.
Really?
Using that as motivation for the guys.
Yeah. Did it work?
We don't have to talk about that. Brock Vredenberg up to bat. Taking that one for an 0-2 count. It didn't not work, but the season, not exactly what we wanted the outcome to be, but that's the fun here at Michigan State and across Big Ten schools.
Was it a first-round exit in the playoffs?
Yeah, it was.
And then it's exactly like Moneyball. That's what happened to Moneyball.
Very true. Brock Vredenberg now cutting it straight to the second baseman, Tony Livermore, and gets the out at first here in East Lansing, finishing with 6 strikeouts, 5 hits, and 2 runs, both of which coming in his last inning, which will bring up Noah Matheny, the right-hander, boasting a 6.65 ERA at the moment, and a redshirt sophomore from Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah, he's the guy that originally struggled as a starter. They decided to move him to the bullpen. He's been much better there, so let's see if he can come in and kind of get a hold for Michigan State, try to work a clean 7th inning.
Playing some lower college ball at SIU Edwardsville before the coaches at Michigan State saw something in him, brought him up.
A lot of guys on this bullpen roster originally are transfers from a community college, and that's where Michigan State in this likes to go out and look for guys that show potential.
So McElfatrick here with a liner out to right field over the head of Jack Frank, and he will have a stand-up double to lead off the top of the 7th here as Northwestern is trying to mount a comeback.
I swear there's a target out there in right center field because they continue to keep on hitting it there. Really nice job. Takes the outside pitch that's up in the zone, able to drive it to that deep part of the ballpark, and another extra base hit for either Northwestern or Michigan State. It's been a hitter's game right now.
Yeah, which is a complete 180 from what we were talking about the pitcher's game all through the beginning of the
Yeah, you jinxed it.
game.
I told you.
You know, sometimes you just got to make it interesting. I like the ball flying off the bat, so.
Okay, so you're biased. Poor pitchers.
I wouldn't say I'm biased. I would just say that I'm
You like the
Here to-
long ball.
here to watch some contact happen. I like somewhere in the middle, you know. These
Okay.
pitchers have been dealing, and the batters finding a way to take advantage of that. That's the beauty of the game. You know, there's something so romantic about baseball. Another Moneyball line.
Yeah, I was going to say, you continue to keep on quoting Moneyball as well. Keep the tally going. What does that one mean?
Dichotomy is kind of the two opposite sides of things. So you've
Okay.
got the sunny, beautiful blue skies, the summer of East Lansing, and then the rain that comes down, or the snow that comes down on a random Tuesday morning when you're waking up and getting to class, and you just hammocked the night before here in East Lansing. But
It sounds
you know, it's
oddly
just
specific.
back and forth. You know, that's the story of the semester here in beautiful East Lansing, Michigan. Love to be out here for a Sunday afternoon game.
Yeah, you got to look at the grads out there. They're toughing it out with the rain. I love it.
As Minarovic taking a swing and a miss to make the count full. The grads are out. The umbrellas are out.
Everybody's out.
Everybody's out here in East Lansing. And, you know, we've been talking all afternoon, rather, as a strike taken exactly where Matheny was looking to throw that. And that little infield meeting with Noah Matheny must have said something magical, because that just battled back in that at-bat.
Yeah, but I agree right there with the hitter against the umpire that it looked like it was a little bit outside is what he was kind of motioning with his face right there, you could see.
No, and outside strikes would have been being called all day rather than inside, as that brings us back to Stephen Rustich at the top of the Northwestern batting order, 1 for 3 today, and a .311 average, the senior.
It's also been consistent, though. We got to credit that. You keep on saying about where the strike zone is, but it has been like that the entire game.
That one just a little bit too far outside, though, as a ball taken to the count with 1 out here. And like we said, Northwestern, if they're going to do damage, it's going to be with this top of the lineup. Maybe the middle, where they had 2 home runs yesterday, but Stephen Rustich looking to get back after that single and 2 strikeouts that he's had, and just a near miss there. 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. I would take all the way right here, but another spot for Northwestern. It's only the 7th inning. You want to bring in that run for sure with just 1 down.
Right, and it's not a time to play safe for Northwestern. You know, if you've got a ball right down the middle like that, I might be taking it. I know that any coach would tell you never to swing on 3-0.
Right, and if you do swing and you get out,
it's going to be an earful.
Well, you're going to be doing laps like I was.
Hit the poles, boys. As going towards the right field pole will be Rustich taking his base and stopping at first on that walk, and infield's going to come in, and switching balls is Noah Matheny, but he's going to need something a little bit more than a different ball to get back into this one.
Yeah, there's going to be a pitching change. That's definitely an interesting way to say it.
From the starters, as we are here with Andrew Carson, the senior from Rochester, Michigan, throwing a ball for his first pitch against Tony Livermore. Had that single in the 6th and a strikeout and a line out to center.
He's had some really good swings today. Obviously likes to shorten up and keep this contact quick.
And as quick as you can get it, a bunt, just going foul. Trying to advance those runners, which if you're Northwestern, you just got to get somebody home here in the 7th. Yesterday, 7th inning is where they had surmounted their comebacks, attempted comebacks. They haven't scored after the 7th inning so far in this series. As a taken ball, the crowd doesn't like that one. Right on the edge there. It was Michigan State able to score in the 8th inning to bring the lead to 8-3 in that first one yesterday, but no runs scored in the 9th so far this weekend. Tony Livermore takes a cut and flew up out of fair play, but able to track it down and make the catch as Dillion Kark in foul territory.
Yeah, shortened up a swing right there and just got right underneath it. He knew right away that it was going to be an easy pop out to the third baseman. So good work. Now you got 2 outs, and for Carson, anything you can do to get Markinson out.
The right-handed sophomore, Bennett Markinson, who had that double in the 6th.
He's got that gap power. Got to look again for that right center field gap.
As this one, luckily for Markinson, will go foul. down the third base line. Two outs, so you've got to put the ball in play. No sacrifice attempts here. If you can just slide it over Dillion Kark's head in third base and get out into that open grass to the right side of the left field line, you may be able to bring home Owen McElfatrick. And only a 3-run ball game here. It feels rather one-sided to Michigan State's way, but it was that 6th inning that brought Northwestern back, as that one's way inside. 2-1 the count with 2 outs.
Couple off-speed pitches in a row right here. Let's see if he tries to go fastball, different location.
Yeah, 2-1, still an even pitchers and hitters count, as he will take a look back at McElfatrick. Kind of a half-hearted attempt for a pickoff, but just keeping everybody square. Inside strike. Painted in there as he went way inside on the last pitch and just paints that corner.
Keeps going back to that same pitch right there. That's like 3 times in a row that he's gone to the off speed. See if he can get him out right here.
And he throws the fastball there, 85 miles per hour.
That was, I would say, more of a change up, but
No need to call me out like that. I appreciate you keeping me fair. Just looks like it had a high velocity out of the hand, but I wasn't looking at the monitor. As a chopper to the shortstop, and Mitch Jebb will opt to throw it to Trent Farquhar at second, getting the out. And Brian Brecker, who has not been on and off, he has been on all throughout this series. A double in the third, a triple in the fifth, 2 RBIs batted in.
And he's batting .565 as the leadoff guy for an inning as well, so you got to look out for that.
Absolutely takes 2 here, but never out of the count off that taken fastball. Brian Brecker will chop one to third, and taking a moment to gather it was Evan Minorovic, but he fires to first just in time to get Brecker out.
And Bush is the one guy in Michigan State's order that has not figured it out. I mean, he struck out in the second, struck out looking in the third, and then struck out in the fifth. So if he can get a hit, it would really just complete this lineup.
Yeah, charge up the lineup that taking ball is Jack Frank coming up next for the Spartans, and Dillion Kark, who's 2 for 2 on the day. The bats have been hitting, 10 hits for Michigan State. Is that one high? 3-0 the count. And Ben Grable doing a good job since he's come in. 1 run in 1 2/3 innings, but he will walk the first. You obviously want that big hit, but a walk will also, get the feelings back up. You can get some confidence.
Well, yeah, because for a walk, you get to see more pitches, and that's important to improving your confidence and zone awareness as well.
So Jack Frank, the lefty batter junior, will take a ball outside from Strongsville, Ohio. .451 on base percentage. Went 1 for 4 in both games yesterday. High ball. So 2 hitters' counts given up early.
It's a little harder to get the grip on the baseball.
And that'll be it. Walk number 2 of the inning. With 1 out, a runner on scoring position, and Jack Frank over at first. Going to see if he can throw some strikes. He hasn't really been able to do it yet this inning. There it is.
And for Frank, came into this game with only 1 triple. He has 2 triples on the day, so he's obviously figured out how to hit the right center field, and you can see the right fielder is now shifting to where he was hitting it those last 2 at-bats.
Back-to-back innings with triples, as that is popped up and out of play. But yeah, whatever Jim Foster told Ben Grable, it must have kicked something into gear. Head coaches have a way of doing that to you. It's Dillion Kark. Hit by a pitch in the second. 2 triples. I'll be called a ball, painting that corner, upper outside corner, but just outside. 1-2 the count. As that will be a deep drive into left field, and that will be gone. Dillion Kark knocking one out of the ballpark, and the lights are flashing here in McLean Stadium. That'll drive in Jack Frank and Sam Bush. And Ben Grable, after getting the talk from Coach Jim Foster, Dillion Kark says, I don't care what he just told you, I'm going to send you out of here. Over the McLean Stadium sign out there and gone.
It was a mistake pitch left right over the heart of the plate, and he was able to turn on it. Power was there inside, was able to get the hands in, and it was an absolute moonshot as well to left field. Brilliant job by Kark, and talked about how much better he's been hitting the baseball. Been working on it in the offseason, and it's just been an offensive explosion now for Michigan State.
Absolutely an offensive explosion. Dillion Kark's bat, the moonshot he called, charged with lightning and just sent out over the scoreboard out there in left center field. And here's Casey Mays sending one deep into center, but that will be caught for the second out of the inning by Steven Rustich.
This season, but clearly with that swing was not feeling it. Whoa, wow. That when it rains, it pours here. That's
when it rains, it pours, and I don't know that I've seen something like that. I don't know. The dirt can't be that slippery.
I mean, but yeah, that's about how Northwestern has been pitching this.
I think Greg Ziegler crossed him up out there at the home plate. Ankle's broken by only his own merit. Now, if you're Ben Grable and the McLean Stadium crowd and everybody watching at home just saw you fall over, see if you can get an out here, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's hard to bounce back from something like that and be so dialed in that you have to be as a pitcher.
You could see clearly the home run has affected him, and just it's obviously a moment that's very embarrassing, but you just got to move on.
Absolutely. As Casey Mays will pop one into center field, and it will get down there for a stand up single. So Trent Farquhar up to the plate. Takes a ball. Farquhar with the single in the 5th. And a strike taken for Trent Farquhar as Nolan Moore looks to figure out this landscape of Michigan State batters that have been so hot, starting at the top with Trent Farquhar.
Well, I'll tell you what the landscape is. It's the right center field gap, and it's also over the McLean Stadium scoreboard.
Right, two places that have been very giving. Is that one just a little bit high for Nolan Moore? 2-2 with 2 outs. And Ziegler at first. Line down the third base side. Jumping and trying to make the acrobatic play. Evan goes over his head. Evan Minarovic throws over to first, and then it's Kalarko who decides to throw it back over to third, and that will score Greg Ziegler. So just error after error here.
Yeah, I mean, I keep saying it, but when it rains, it pours, and you got the first baseman trying to be a superhero right there, trying to throw it back over to third. You got to hold on to that in that situation and say, hey, you know what, you get third base, let's move on. But now just gave up another run that was for free, so you just got to get out of this inning.
Right, with 2 outs. 1. Oh, that came off like a rocket off the bat of Mitch Jebb. But that will be out of play. Michigan State just taking advantage of every error possible. And Mitch Jebb now fouling one back. So the sun is really out here. Singled in the 6th inning. Mitch Jebb also singling in the 3rd and doubling in the 1st. And he's making some pops off the bat, just not getting it into play.
What's weird about Moore is he'll change his arm slot. You can clearly see, obviously, what kind of pitch is coming. When he changes that arm slot, more of an off-speed, like the sidearm, and then over the top is going to be a fastball, it looks like.
So Trent Farquhar at first, Mitch Jebb to the plate with an 0-2 count, and that one will float wide. Nolan Moore giving up that last run. Not really his fault, though, after the error of Kalarko's throw. And that one will be exactly where it needs to be in the bottom outside corner. Michigan State tacking on a run after that 3-run shot by Dillion Kark. 1-1 when wearing the cream Michigan State shirt and pants with the S hat.
It's retro day, so you got to bring out those type of uniforms. And obviously, no matter what your record is in it, they're playing well right now.
And Northwestern, just to shout out the threads.
I like them, yeah.
The black with the gold, kind of reminiscent of fouled off there by Alex Kalarko, who made that error in the bottom of the last inning, but kind of reminiscent of a game that every Spartan fan will remember. If you're a fan of all Spartan sports, Kenneth Walker's first game, Northwestern had those black uniforms with that gold, kind of the same exact font and everything that they have here back in 2021. So nice to see the uniforms making it across the sports.
Yeah, they got some cool threads over there at Northwestern.
So that one will go just outside for Alex Kalarko, who yet to have a hit on the day. Did knock in a run with his sacrifice fly out to right, though, in the 6th inning. But here he is hitting it the other way out to left, and that will be dropping just before the wall, and slipping is Casey Mays, but making it in, and a double standing up for Alex Kalarko.
It's a good swing again. Outer portion of the plate was able to take it, and Northwestern has had some good swings, but Michigan State has just been more consistent with getting those runners in the situations that they need to.
Yeah, 7 hits, not a bad day by any means, really, in a normal baseball game, but only 2 runs off those 7 hits. 13 for the Spartans for being through 8 innings. So that one goes inside for Kevin Farrer, who doubled in the 6th and singled in the 2nd. 263 average on the season. Inside strike called. 1-1 the count. Northwestern really needs to do something here to have any chance of battling back in this one. Have not scored in the 8th or 9th innings yet this series.
Well, I mean, if they're going to come back in this one, it's going to be taking each plate appearance one by one, just base runners. That's what you need. Aggregation of marginal gains.
And starting off with that double, exactly that, just focusing on each pitch, as there will be a grounder to Mitch Jebb, who throws to Vredenberg and making the play. Stopping Kalarko at second there, forcing him to go back, not making the throw too early, make sure he stays on second, but a routine ground ball gets the first out of the inning.
It's a routine play, but it takes 6 seconds of intense focus right there from Mitch Jebb, and nice play, and you get a routine ground out. Good work from Andrew Carson.
As Luke Tanner up to bat now. Excuse me, a pinch hitter for Luke Tanner. This will be our known, who absolutely spectacular in the 2 games yesterday. Rested for the majority of this one, but coming in the 8th inning. We said that you had to look out for him if he were to come in. And here he is making his first plate appearance. The grad student had an incredible day in center field making those diving catches, but also off the bat. And they're giving him a little bit of a rest today. But
well, and the reason why he got that rest is because Nick Powers, the starting pitcher, lefty, and Griffin Arnone, also left-handed hitters, so they decided to go with a right-handed hitter in center field. So that's why didn't get the start today.
And they'll say that he went there 2-2. But that's exactly right. He leads the team in home runs with 7. Next closest is 4 by Steven Rustich. So a lot of games in a baseball season. But that'll be a look.
Yeah, I mean, another good strikeout from Carson. Coming in with those 2 runners on. Obviously, he did have the leadoff double, but has been really locked down for Michigan State out of their pen.
Has the strike taken for Cooper Ford. Yet to get a positive plate appearance out of today. Fielder's choice, a strike, and a fly out to center. As back tracing is Trent Farquhar, and he makes the backhanded up in the air catch. Backpedaling he was, looking like a wide receiver going out for that one, and he makes the catch, brings it in.
Yeah, it was
and that will be the third out of the inning.
To continue on the RPI point, and that's something that Michigan State, their goal. I mean, yes, they are tied for second in the Big Ten Conference at the moment, but RPI-wise, they're sitting at 69th, which is not where they want to be. You got to be in the top 64 at least to be in the NCAA tournament. But regardless of win or loss, they're going to lose points. And if they do win, they only lose 20 RPI points. And if they lose, which would you'd have to really fall apart right now, would be 91. So massive difference right there. And for Michigan State, just want to close this one out because you do have some big series coming up for your Big Ten schedule, and just try to lock in your seeding-wise, get into that at least top 4, and then from there, just winning more games and get into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. In the top of the Big Ten, Maryland has taken the lead, and Michigan State, as we said, tied for second, is tied with Indiana as Brock Vredenberg will foul one off, getting him to 2-2 in the count. And that is a series that is currently happening right now. Indiana and Maryland are battling. So all of the Big Ten teams facing off in this one as Brock Vredenberg gets one over the first baseman's head and fired in to second base. A stand-up double for Brock Vredenberg. Those extra base hits, what we said. More times than not, which is just an insane statistic, bringing up Brian Brecker and getting thrown a first pitch strike. But like we were saying, Indiana and Maryland facing off. They are tied right now in Bloomington at 7-7. However, a weather delay, the second of the game, has just taken hold. So some rain in Bloomington, but staying sunny here in East Lansing as Brian Brecker grounds out to the shortstop, Owen McElfatrick.
Nice job to kind of come back on that pitch and just get an easy ground out. So a little bit more confidence built. You still got the runner in scoring position for Michigan State, but
righty Dresselhaus averaging 200 on the season. But nice to know that it could be worse weather-wise as the two rainouts in a row have taken hold, but Maryland just coming out of that one. I think it was a 30-minute weather delay 40 minutes ago, so just coming out of that one, Maryland scored 2 runs in the top of the 7th, so they are looking like they are going to, if they can hold out, of course, still a close game, 9-7, but they're looking like they're going to stay atop the Big Ten, and Indiana would then fall out of tying for second with Michigan State if Michigan State can finish this one off, and they're going to say that he swung there. So Dresselhaus, after being pinch hit in, will strike out. Looking ahead, a series against Indiana coming up or Illinois coming up for Michigan State, then Iowa, and then finishing it out with Indiana. It's going to be a tough road, but if they can stay atop it, this could be. We haven't seen a Michigan State team reach the tournament in quite a long time. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the focus is there, and for Michigan State, it's beyond even the Big Ten tournament. Obviously, you want to win these games, but RPI is such a big focus right now for MSU because Northwestern being at the bottom of the conference, they lose points, but you have to obviously play these games. That's why I'm not fully in love with the RPI system, but it is what it is. And that's how you get determined when you are able to make the tournament because of those points and everything like that. Some situations I agree with it and some not because obviously this is a conference series you have to play regardless.
And a swing and a miss there from Jack Frank.
Just get the 3 outs and call it a sweep in a weekend.
Calling it a weekend is what the Spartans looking to do here as a pinch hit in for Michael Elko. 2:35 on the season. As he'll pop one off foul and into the Michigan State bullpen, where the guys are looking nice and comfy over there in their sweatshirts. Their bunny hugs if we were in Saskatchewan, Canada.
It's pretty close to East Lansing, right?
You know, Michigan borders Canada over the bridge. A
Yeah.
couple different bridges if you want to
Correct.
make your pick.
Yeah.
Elko battling one away. Staying in this at bat, 1-2 the count. And Shapaniak just looking to take Michigan State home and on. They will travel to Illinois and face off in Champaign.
Yeah, and the next two conference series are away for Michigan State, so those are absolutely massive for them to at least take 2 of 3, RPI-wise and conference-wise.
Yeah, and these student athletes finishing finals this week, and then they'll just have baseball to worry about for the rest of the way. So hoping to extend their season on to Omaha as well if they can. But like we said, those RPI points going to be big. But, you know, you're talking the points really count for something, but with good opponents coming up, it's really all in the Spartans' hands if they're going to be able to make this one and gain enough points.
Correct. And also there is a scenario where you could win the Big Ten tournament. Obviously, that's a huge ask, but, I mean, that's how you do to get an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. It's those winners, and then the rest are determined highly from RPI.
And a swing and a miss there from Elko, who was pinch hitting in and will be dropped. Another pinch hitter coming in for Northwestern, the lefty, Catlin.
Just blew it right past him right there. It was a little bit late, and nice work from Shapaniak.
So a first pitch strike. As Kaplan, they're looking for anybody on the Northwestern bench that can get them home. 2 lefties they've subbed in against the right-handed Shapaniak. And that will be 2. Strike 2. 1-2 the count now. So Michigan State, like we said, ball is in their court, going up to face Illinois after this one. Has taken ball outside. And looking to put this one away, Shapaniak. But a drive into center field, and tracking that one and catching it is Greg Ziegler. So another line out to center. We've seen a few of them after this series. Has one game against UIC on Tuesday, and then it'll be Indiana, who we were talking about, also at the top of the standings in the Big Ten. Illinois has a game coming up here right now. Is a strike taken there from Andrew Pinkston. Northwestern pinch hitting all of their batters here in the top of the 9th. So it will be a very fun end of the season for all of the Big Ten baseball fans out there looking to. We're going to see a close race to the finish, which, you know, no real one team. As strike 2 taken.
I mean, a lot of big games coming up for Michigan State. And this is really where you define this team. We talked about how good they've been, but you really get to figure out quickly how elite they can be.
And battled to stay alive there is Pinkston, who fouls one out into the dugout. And yeah, we'll see if this team is built for the postseason, hoping that nobody reaches any slumps, because like we were saying, there haven't really been any hitting slumps. Michigan State's just batting so well through this one, and obviously Northwestern at the bottom of the standings, but still a good team that can fight back at you. We just haven't seen it late here.
And they're one strike away from hitting their goal this weekend. So a big sweep and really helps your conference record.
Shapiniak the pitch. And fouled away, so Pinkston trying to stay in this one, fouling 3 away. And the crowd clapping their hands, obliging to the music playing over the speakers. And grounded up the center field line into the gap is Pinkston. So a good cut taken in between Jeb and Farquhar. We'll get the pinch hitter Pinkston raising that 120 average onto first.
I mean, and good work from Pinkston. Really good at bat. Everyone's ready to go home and able to stay alive, hit a couple of foul balls down the line, and then nice job hitting it right up the gap, and now we got a 2-out base runner.
So Northwestern throwing any left-handed hitter they have, leaving Tony Livermore in to hit at Shapiniak, who obviously the right-handed pitcher. Northwestern likes that righty-lefty matchup. But there's a pop into left field. Casey Mays coming in and making the catch. That'll be it for this one, as Casey Mays firing the ball deep out into the red cedar over the wall in victory. The Spartans celebrating, and they will take this one 9-2.